Hello there, you amazing viewers and subscribers, and welcome to a new Doctor Who topic video for today. As you can see, I've done a few new changes. I've added both me Doctor Who fob watches here and me sonic screwdrivers. So, today's video is about, is Big Finish canon? Now, some Doctor Who fans do not class Big Finish as canon, and some people do class it as canon, but for me, from my point of view, I honestly do think it's canon. I do class Big Finish as canon. So I'm going to make my points why I think Big Finish is canon. Now, we all know that Paul McGann's Companions was made canon back in 2013 in Night of the Doctor. Just before Paul McGann regenerated, he mentioned all of his companions and stuff. So basically the Paul McGann timeline is classed as canon. But what about the rest of it? You know, I'm not on about like the main Unbound series or the Bernie Sonnenfeld series or anything like that. I just mean like the stuff with the first down to the 10th Doctors. Is that canon? As well as the Big Finish stuff, like, because they've done quite a few spin-offs. We've got the Diary of River Song, where River Song's actually encountered the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and I believe she's actually encountered the 3rd Doctor as well in the later box set. So is that canon for me? Yes, it does, because in the Husbands of River Song, she literally has a picture of all of the Doctor's faces. So I honestly do class that bit as canon. The Torchwood stuff, I have to admit, I do actually class that as canon. I love Torchwood. I think that's a brilliant way to carry on with the Torchwood stuff, because Torchwood is actually canon in the actual Doctor Who universe, thanks to the first Russell T Davies era. But my question is this: do you class Doctor Who as canon? So the stuff I'm going to talk about, why do I think it's canon, which is brilliant. So the first thing I like to suggest is the 8th Doctor adventures. So the 8th Doctor has had so many fantastic stories over Big Finish. I mean, I've literally just got all of Dark Eyes, I've got the Riven story, and I've got the 2 Time War box sets, and I absolutely love listening to it. I just need to try and get my hands on Time War 3 and Time War 4, and then go back and collect the Doom collection sets and the Stranded sets, and then go back further down Paul McGann's timeline as the 8th Doctor and try and pick up his main series. So some from the monthly range from 2001, and then try and get the rest of his other series. So like with his companion with Lucy Miller, his travels with Lucy Miller. So I do need to focus more on that side. But I love Dark Eyes. Dark Eyes is brilliant. I have got a review coming out on Dark Eyes 4 pretty soon, because Dark Eyes as a whole set, that's just fantastic. I absolutely love Dark Eyes. I really do love Dark Eyes. But the thing is, though, the Big Finish has done other stuff with other Doctors. Do I class that lot as canon? Well, yes, to be honest. I mean, for the Colin Baker era, I mean, that was so short on TV. I mean, literally 2 full seasons and 1 story in season 21. And that was it for Colin Baker, you know. So really, 3 years, 8 stories. Not really enough for the 6th Doctor, really, especially when you go to Big Finish, and he's got so many fantastic stories. And I've got a few of them, like the Juggernauts, the Caronite Curse. I really listened to that one recently. I've got a review coming out for that one as well. I absolutely love listening to Big Finish for the other Doctors. So companion wise, yes, I do think every Big Finish companion is canon. So the 4th Doctor has a new companion. I don't know anything about her name. I haven't got series 8 of the 4th Doctor adventures, but believe me, that's on my list, because she's somewhere in between, because these adventures is somewhere in between season 15 and 16. So just after the Doctor's left Leela on Gallifrey, and then just before he goes and looks for the key to time, which really is fantastic. You know, during that time, the 4th Doctor gets a brand new companion. But there again, though, we have got David Bradley doing his 1st Doctor voice, you know, him being all the 1st Doctor in the 1st Doctor adventures, Volume 1 to 5, and I do hope I think we've got Volume 6 coming out. I'm not too sure. Do I class him as canon? Well, yeah, you know, it really does. Big Finish really does dive into bits of gaps in stories and seasons. So yeah, you know, I do class the classic Doctors as canon as well. I have to admit, I really do class it as canon. I think it's a brilliant way for Big Finish. You know, they've been going on since 1999, and I really love all their adventures. I think they've done fantastic stuff with Colin Baker. I mean, I absolutely love his box set, The 6 Doctor's Last Adventure, which really does tie into after Trial of a Time Lord and just before Time and Irani. Yes, I do know they've done other adventures between Trial of a Time Lord and, of course, the Six Doctors' Last Adventure. But, you know, I'm literally just diving straight into Big Finish. You know, I'm gone back and diving into it. I'm actually loving it, experience it. I love the Gallifrey CD my mate Thomas Stevens got me as a fan mail. I absolutely love that one. I keep re-listening to it. I think it's brilliant. To actually hear Leela and Romana too on Gallifrey, and this is set way during the 8th Doctor's timeline, I guarantee it, because Romana is basically in E-space from the 4th Doctor's era, so I really do get this somewhere in between McCoy and Paul McGann's kind of era. I do think it's literally like, I think it's set way before the TV movie, because Romana is president, and did she actually made punishment as a peace treaty to make the Daleks execute the Master? I'm not too sure about that one. I think that could be a different president. I'm not too sure. But listen to the Gallifrey stuff, especially that CD, Square One. I absolutely love it. I honestly do. To actually hear two, like Leela and K9 and Romana and her K9, literally, I think it's absolutely a cracking story. I really do love it. So, yeah, for me to sit here and say, yes, I do honestly think Big Finish is canon to the TV universe. Because, one, in the Doctor's timeline, they literally find a gap in stories of seasons and plot stories in. I mean, I've literally got Return to Skaro from it in the first Doctor's adventure from Volume 4. And I really do think that takes place between Season 1 and Season 2. Which is an absolutely great way to place it, because you got to return to Skaro. So literally, it's set after they left Skaro. They re-meet the Fowls. They end up back, literally, like, this is like 100 years into the Fowls and Skaro's timeline. And the Daleks have a secret city. And, of course, we meet the very first Dalek Supreme. And then I really think it really leads into the Dalek invasion of Earth really well as well. Because it literally does make a point. So making the first Doctor having 2 adventures with the Daleks with Ian, Barbara and Susan, even though it's not the actual character, the actors that do the voices, but they actually playing the same characters, which, to be honest, is not really nothing new, because, come on, the TV series has recast the first Doctor twice, so, you know, you can't really go mad about it saying, but they can't recast the Doctor. They've done it 3 times, like twice, actually, in the TV universe, because it's been Hartnell, it's been Richard Herndon, and it's been David Bradley, even though David Bradley is still playing the first Doctor in Big Finish, which really fills up the gaps in between Season 1 and 2. It is actually canon for me. I do actually class it as canon. For the second Doctor Adventures, yes, I know it's Fraser Hines doing the voice of Troughton, but he does a really great voice for Troughton's Doctor. I absolutely love the way he is for Troughton. I mean, I've got Daughters of Gods, and it's got Peter Purvis doing Hartnell's voice as well. And he does really capture the first Doctor in the voice, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I can actually take that to be the first Doctor. I honestly do. And then Jamie Fraser Hines does exactly the same for the second Doctor, who plays Jamie in the Doctor's timeline. And that story takes place somewhere in between Season 6, because it's got Zoe in the title. So I do actually class that one as canon. The third Doctor Adventures, you know, I do class that as canon in between Seasons 8 and 10, because I've only got the first one, and it has Joe Grant and Captain Mike Yates. You know, so I really do enjoy that. I did enjoy that one as well. The fourth Doctor Adventures, all the Leela stuff I've got so far, which is Energy of the Daleks, Return to Terros, and the fourth Doctor Adventures Series 7, because I've got the whole lot of Series 7. I really do pick that into place in between Seasons 14 and 15. So, do you class Big Finish as canon? Let me know in the comments. Please do like, subscribe and share, and join me for more awesome Doctor Who stuff.